gonna be hungry by the end of this class because we talk about all the different types of food. And I know me, every time we finish this class, I'm like, I am starving. I'm ready to eat. So just a little heads up. Okay. So the first sign we're gonna do is the sign for food itself. So the sign for food is gonna be kind of a flat O, and you're gonna go food, food. And you want to make sure you double tap, food, food. The next one we have is the sign for eat. And eat is going to be the one tap. Eat. Eat. So this is something you will kind of notice more in ASL later on, especially if you're picking up different signs, is a lot of times I've noticed there'll be kind of like the beat, like the double tap, one tap. Sorry, I heard noise and it's Henry. He was moving to the couch. But double tap is almost like for the noun, and then one tap is almost like for the verb itself. So like food, eat. That's kind of how it will go. And it happens, you'll see it later on as well. Okay. The next sign is the sign for fruit. And the sign for fruit is going to be an F. You're going to put it in the corner of your mouth and you're going to go fruit. 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 Okay. So the first specific fruit we're going to do is the sign for apple. And so the sign for apple is going to be a little X. You're going to put it in the corner of your mouth and go apple. Apple. Now, if you were going to talk about a red, green apple, a specific type of apple, you would just add the color red apple, green apple. Okay. The next one we have is orange. And so for orange, if y'all saw the colors video, it's going to be the same sign for orange. That one is as well. Sorry. Orange. Orange.
Jillian, I have a question.
Yes.
For when we say red apple, green apple, ripe apple, whatever, are we signing apple red, or are we signing, or does it matter?
So technically you would start with apple red, but if you did do red apple, that wouldn't be the end of the world. Because it would still get the point across, but you would technically do apple red. The descriptors almost kind of go near the end of the word, because that way they know what you're talking about. It's kind of like, for example, if you're talking about a specific, like, trying to think of something that's not an apple, but like if you're talking about you want an apple, we're just going to use that. Like if you said red, there's a billion different things that could be red, you know? So they're going to, like, they might be going through the mind, okay, what kind of red, what kind of red? So you tell them what you want first and then add the specifics after, if that makes sense. Think for a minute. Okay. The next one we're going to do is strawberry. And then after strawberry, we'll go back. Okay. So strawberry is going to be a thumbs up. And you're going to have your actual thumb, the pad of your thumb, touch your chin. Strawberry. 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 Okay. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. So we had food, which was food, food, food. Eat with one tap. Eat, eat. And then fruit. So the F, corner of your mouth, fruit. Fruit. Then apple, apple. Orange, orange. And then strawberry, strawberry, strawberry. Okay. So our next fruit we're going to have is grapes. And so you're going to have your non-dominant palm out. Your dominant is going to kind of have this open, it's like a very open C, basically. And you're going to tap as you go down. Grapes. Grapes. And it's like the visual of grapes being on the vine. I have seen some people also do it from fingertips to back. I don't really see much of a big difference, but I have seen it both ways. So grapes, grapes. The next one we have is banana. And banana is very simple. It's banana. Like you're peeling the banana. Then we have peach. Peach is going to be peach. And my like memory, like visual for this is, or connection is like peach fuzz on our cheeks. Peach. Peach. Then we have lemon. Lemon's going to be an L. You're going to put your thumb in the corner of your mouth and go lemon. Lemon. Gonna bounce that L. Yep. Lemon. Okay. And then I'm trying to keep pace so I don't like have us go 20 words in and then realize, oh, we have not gone back yet. Like I have a bad tendency on that. So I keep having to like count my numbers. Our next one is going to be tomato. Now, I always like to joke with this one because I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. And so some people are like who love tomatoes get very offended with this sign because it's not its own sign. It does not have its own technical sign. It is two words put together. And so basically for tomato, you're signing red and then slice. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is red slices, but like I know some people are like, I mean, tomatoes deserve their own sign. And I'm like, no. They just have two signs. That's it. So you do red. And then the sign for slice is you're going to have like a flat O. And you're going to pretend to slice it up. Slice. So you go red, slice. The next one we have is vegetable. Vegetable is going to be a V. You're going to put your pointer finger in the corner and go vegetable. So it's kind of similar to our fruit, vegetable. And then we'll stop there because we're moving ahead. Okay, so let's go back. We had our grapes, or grapes. Banana, peach, lemon, tomato, red slice, vegetable. Okay, so our next one we're going to do is the sign for corn. There are two ways you can sign it. The first one is going to be like, you're going to have like little baby C's, and you're going to go corn. So like you're eating it off the cob, corn. And the second one is going to be, I'm going to sign it first before I describe it because it gets kind of awkward when I try to describe it. It's corn. So it's like you start with your palm facing out and then you turn it inside. It's almost like you're rotating the corn. Corn. Sometimes this one can be confused with like brushing your teeth because it is that similar kind of motion. So if you're like not sure, I always say like when in doubt, corn is not the worst one to go with. Okay. Our next one we have is potato. So potato is going to be your non-dominant fist. And then your dominant is going to have like a V. You're going to bend them and then tap. Potato. The nice thing with this one is this is also the same sign for chips, like potato chips. So potato chips. If you wanted to like label a difference, like I always like to say, whenever you go to a picnic and then there's potatoes and then there's potato chips, my recommendation is you can always finger spell chips because chips is very simple. It's a short spelling and that will kind of help get your point. So you would do potato and then just finger spell chips. If you're like having something and it's already kind of like the context is like you already know, okay, we're talking about chips. You don't have to add the chips part. That's totally fine. And I'm going to add this here because I don't think we've done this before. Well, we have in a few classes, but I don't think we do it often enough. Is mashed potatoes. So for mashed potatoes, you go mash. It's like you're smashing it between here. So mash potatoes. Because that way, that is also separating your types of potatoes, for your mashed potatoes or your potato chips. Okay.
Those are the only true potato food groups. We all know that.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Also, I just thought you should know, you scared me when you came on because I was looking at my phone to see the list, the next one, and I just did a little jump. So if y'all saw me jolt, that's just because I'm a very jumpy person.
I'm sorry. I'm just here to speak up on behalf of the potatoes.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Do it. I love myself some potatoes. I used to say in the beginning of our classes how potatoes were the one food group that I would like be able to live off on because there's so many different ways you can cook them. Like I would stand on that soapbox and never let it go. So yes, I'm a huge supporter of the potato group.
You would get scurvy or something.
Like potatoes. Like there's hash browns, French fries, mash. There's all kinds. So that's my love for potatoes. Okay. The next time we're going to do is the sign for French fries. So the sign for French fries is you're going to have an F and you're going to go French fries, French fries, French fries. It's also like the motion of grabbing a French fry and dipping it in the ketchup. That's what I think of. French fries. Okay. So our next one is going to be sweet potato. And what we're doing with that is we add the word or the sign for sweet. So the sign for sweet is sweet, sweet, sweet. So you would do sweet potato, sweet potato.
Is this the same sign for she's sweet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sweet. This is one. I know there are some signs where it's like, okay, you'd have to sign it different, things like that. This sweet does stay consistent. So if you're saying it tastes sweet or she is sweet, you would still do the same sign, sweet. Okay. Let's do one more and then we'll go back and review those. So the next one we have is cabbage / lettuce. I've seen the sign for both. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have a very open C again. And you're going to have the base of your palm carefully pop you in the head. Cabbage. And a cabbage / lettuce. And the reason for this one is, for me, at least the visual is that is like, when you have a head of lettuce and there's all the layers. So head with all the layers of lettuce. Cabbage. I have seen some people add the L and go lettuce. Lettuce. That is just more of an exposure because that one's a little bit more English rather than that ASL. But if you see someone doing that, they may be talking about lettuce. So cabbage, lettuce. Okay. Let's go back. So we had, I think we stopped at vegetable. Okay, corn. I had to go back. We did a lot this time. So we had corn, corn. Then we had potato, potato. Then we had our mashed potatoes. Then we had our French fries. Then sweet potato. And then our cabbage / lettuce. Cabbage. Okay. All right. Now on to our next part. So the next word. Sorry, Meredith was getting a toy to play with and she's got little clockety nails. And I was like, what is that? I thought someone was having a moment. No, she's just playing. It's very distracting. Okay. The next sign we have is a sign for pickle. There are two kind of ways I've seen it. I use this one a little bit more. And the reason I'll explain, actually, you know what, before we do pickle, let's hold that real quick. We're going to do one more before it. You will see what I mean after we do it, but I think it will be confusing if we do the pickle first. So we're going to do the sign for sour first. Okay, this is where I wanted to add it. So the sign for sour is going to be your pointer finger, kind of in that corner of your mouth again. You're going to go sour, sour, sour. Now, important key note for this is you almost want to kind of purse your lips when you do it. Sour. Like think about eating like a lemon head or something and your lips kind of like, ooh, purse like that. You want to add that. That just kind of helps to show that you really do mean like sour because there is another sign that's similar or same there, which I promise is our next. So we have sour. Pickle is going to be kind of a P, but it's higher up like this with your middle finger in that motion and you're going to go pickle. And it's because of it being sour. Even if you have a sweet pickle, it's still pickle. It does not change just because of the taste of it. Exactly. There you go. Sweet pickle. Okay. I have seen some people do this for pickle as well. I kind of would stick with this pickle. And the reason I recommend that is because you already have sour here. And then the other one I was going to say is candy is right here as well. They are all very similar. So your facial expressions and like kind of context clues of what you're talking about is going to be what helps it clarify what you're actually talking about. So that's why I always like kind of would recommend with that sour, person those lips like it's sour, whoo, it's sour, and then pickle, and then candy. And I typically kind of have a nicer smile with my candy because I don't know about y'all, but I love me some candy. So I'm always like, yeah, candy is great. Give me the candy. So, okay. Our next one, golly, my list keeps zooming in and out. So I'm like, I cannot see what's our next one. All right. So the next one we have is the sign for spicy. Okay. So for spicy, because it relates with all that sour, tart, cold, hot, those kind of like different flavorings of that. So spicy is going to be, you're going to start with your fingers kind of facing towards your mouth and you're going to wiggle them back and forth. Spicy, spicy. And the reason for this is I visualize flames coming out of your mouth. When you know, think of that cartoon, that typical cartoon classic where they eat like a hot pepper and it's really spicy and the flames just shoot out. It's like the flames, like you're like, they are just coming into my mouth. My mouth is on fire. So spicy. Now, our next one, well, the next one is going to seem silly. And if you look at our list, you'll notice the next sign is dragon. And the reason for that is not because we are eating dragons. It is because dragon sign, the sign for dragon is you're going to have, instead of your hand being this way, it's now this way and goes dragon. Dragon. Oh, I love that. That I know that if you did that to like a deaf person, they'd probably be judging you because it's not actually like a fruit made from dragons. But I love the creativity with that one. But yeah, so we always have dragon here because of our spicy and dragon because they're similar. But I cracked up when I looked because I was like, wait a minute, dragon. Oh, wait, spicy. That's why. So, okay. Our next one is going to be the sign for cold. And so the sign for cold is cold. 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 You can use that one to talk about the temperature, like it's outside, it's cold, or I feel cold. My food is cold. You can say all of those. You can still use cold. Now, sometimes I've seen people use the sign for frozen, which I mean, we do in English. We'll say like, well, my food's frozen, like it's cold, like it's not edible. And you can do the same for it in ASL. And so for frozen, it's like you have your fingers sticking out and then you bend it back. Frozen, frozen, frozen. So you could be like, my food is frozen. Okay. Let's do one more and then we'll go back. Okay. So our next one is hot. Okay. So the sign for hot is going to be, you're going to have like this open C again in front of your mouth and you're going to put it down. Hot, hot, hot. Now, hot is going to be talking about it actually being like steaming or if it's hot outside. You would not want to use this as hot as in like spicy because that's where this spicy comes in. There's the difference. Okay. So let's go back. So we had sour. So sour. Then we had pickle. Pickle. Candy. Candy. Spicy. Spicy. Then we had our dragon. Dragon. Cold. Cold. Frozen. Frozen. And then hot. Hot. Okay. So our next one is going to be the sign for pizza. There are two ways you can do it. The first one is going to be pizza. It's almost like you're holding a slice of pizza while you're eating. So pizza, 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 pizza. You just joined. You made it just in time for the main course. Pizza. So pizza. The other one is going to be, you're going to have that two, Gonna bend them like the X, and then you're gonna go make a Z. Pizza. Pizza. I've seen both. I typically now have started using this one though. I used to do this one all the time. And then my kids were like, no, pizza, 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 pizza. And I was like, fine. And I caught myself changing for that. So pizza. Okay. The next one we have is the sign for salad. So the sign for salad is going to be these open 5 bent hands and you go salad. And I think about like when you go to like Olive Garden, you go to a fancy restaurant and you like get the salad tossed around in front of you like they used to do. It's like tossing the salad. So salad. Okay. Then we have hamburger. So hamburger is going to be hamburger. Like you're making the meat patties. Hamburger. Hamburger. If you were going to want to say cheeseburger, what you do is you're going to add the sign for cheese in front of that burger. Cheese is cheese. Cheese. So it's your non-dominant palm sideways. Your dominant base is at the top, and then you move it back and forth. Cheese. So cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. Okay. Our next one is going to be the sign for fish. Fish is going to be the same for the type of, well, it's funny when I say it this way, but I feel like it makes sense when I explain it, is that it's the same sign if you're talking about the actual fish itself, like you have a pet fish versus eating fish, okay? So the sign for fish is you're going to have your dominant hand sideways like this, your non-dominant pointer finger points at the base, and then you go fish, 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 fish. So I love how every time I feel like I have to say there's the difference between fish and fish, because technically, like in English, like we'll talk about like, I know I'm veering because I know it's going to be coming later. Like if we're talking about, we eat like pork chops, pork, pig, things like that. It's the same sign in ASL. And so that's why I feel like that's why I always like to separate the two, even though they are still technically the same word. So fish, fish. Okay. Then we have spaghetti / pasta. It is the same sign. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have your pinkies out. They're going to start kind of together. And then you're going to spiral as you back away. Spaghetti. Spaghetti. And this is just like the noodles. So pasta. Typically context clues kind of will help apply which one it is. If you are like concerned, you want to be clear, like you had Alfredo or like specific spaghetti, you can, I do not like spelling spaghetti because every time I do it, I forget a letter. You can finger spell them, but if it's not like the end of the world, or if you like, they understood pretty good, you do not have to worry about finger spelling every time. I always like to say that because I know some people are very specific. There are times where I'm like, no, you're going to know exactly what I had, the kind of spaghetti and I mean, I go into everything. So I'm like, I'm one of those people who does all the describing, but I'm like, if you're just like, no, I just had pasta for dinner. Like, if that's all you got to worry about. Yeah, you good. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna just kind of keep going because I know we got a lot tonight. So if that's okay, and then we'll just kind of review near one bigger part. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do the sign for egg, and the sign for egg is you're gonna have 2 H's. You're gonna put them on top, and then break. Egg, egg, and it's like that visual. I know I'm sticking my arms out. I need to keep them down. Egg, and it's like the visual of cracking that egg open. So egg. Okay. Then we have bacon. So bacon is going to be those 2 U's again. You're going to have them touch and then bounce them back and forth. Bacon. 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 The next one we have is bread. So for bread, excuse me, you're going to have your non-dominant hand sideways. Your dominant hand is going to be kind of in that bent shape, and you're going to pretend to make slices. Bread. 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 Okay. The next one we're going to do is we're going to do the 3 signs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are going to start in reverse and start with dinner first, though. So the first sign for dinner is, well, not first sign for dinner, sorry. The sign for dinner is going to be a D, and you're going to go dinner. 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 The next one is going to be, I saw you immediately leaning forward. That's why I was like, what? But I'm gonna hold because I know she's asking a question. And I'll give me a moment to. I wondered if someone was gonna ask that. So when it comes to dinner, you can do either 2 taps or 1 tap. Those really doesn't typically make the biggest impact like that food and eat or food and eat. Because if you're saying like, well, I'm eating dinner or I'm eat dinner, I typically double tap, but I have seen if you do like 1 tap, it's not gonna like change your sentence, if that makes sense. Okay. Then we have lunch. Lunch is gonna be an L, and you're gonna go lunch, 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 lunch. Okay. So the next one we have is the sign for breakfast. Now, I always have to talk about this one because this one is not always what we think it would be. Okay. And the reason I say that is because some people will use this sign for breakfast, but if you're not careful, that can say 2 different things. And because I think we're all adults, I'll explain what the other 2 meanings are. Typically, if we have kids, I try to like avoid because it's not nice. But since I think we're all adults, it's be fine. Some people will use for breakfast with the B, but I would recommend not because that's beer as well. So I could see that being very easily confusing. Someone saying you had bacon and beer. Like I could see that conversation kind of being a little concerning, especially if you're talking at like 9 o'clock in the morning and they're like, are you okay? So and then the other one I was going to recommend is because I know we do our lunch and our dinner here. Don't do this. Don't do that. That is calling someone a not nice word. I'm sure you can figure out by the B sounding. Yeah. Yeah. So I would not do that. What my recommendation and what I typically use for the sign for breakfast is I do morning and food. Okay. So if you remember, we had our morning food. So morning food. Morning food. I typically will make it a smoother motion. So it's not going morning food. It's like morning food, like real fast. Morning food. That's my recommendation. That's kind of what I do. And that's only because I don't always see this one as often. We do have a few kids who will sign it that way, but also they're still learning English words, and spelling is still like a struggle. So it's kind of a different thing than typical. So that's my little recommendation is morning food. Always have to explain that one because I feel like, yeah, that could change the whole sentence really fast. Okay. So now we're going to go on to our desserts right now. All right. So the first thing we're going to have, which is very important, is chocolate. Okay. So the sign for chocolate is you're going to have your non-dominant in a fist. Your dominant's going to be in a C. And you're going to go chocolate. You're going to make it a circular motion on the back of your hand. Chocolate. Now, fun fact, because we like Miss Katie and I think it's one of our favorite things that we add always here, is you do not want to tap because when you tap, that is church. Church, chocolate. Those are 2 very different things. You do not want to be saying I'm going to chocolate or I want to eat church. I feel like that can be very concerning to some people. So I always like to say, be careful of those differences. I think what helps me think about this is I think of chocolate syrup and how you're like, you drizzle it and stuff. So there's our chocolate. And then a church, like the tapping is like, it's a place. That's
I'm telling you, I've said this before. I'm telling you, this is upon the rock. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes. That
See,
kind of
I tell Jillian when these things come upon me, I'm like, oh, I know why.
see, and I'll sit there and I go, have no idea. Have no idea. So yes, I always like to tell people those 2 different ones. The next one we have is vanilla. And so vanilla is going to be that V with your non-dominant palm fist, and you're going to go vanilla. So similar as chocolate, but it's a V. Vanilla. Now, I'm gonna add this up here because it comes with chocolate and vanilla is the sign for ice cream. And it's ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Ice cream. So you can be talking about chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream. We've already done strawberry with that thumb. Strawberry. Oops. Strawberry. Well, strawberry chocolate is a thing. Sorry. Little dog played with a ball, threw it down this here, didn't realize it. Big dog just grabbed it and stole it from her, and it threw me off. They are being very playful around my area right now. It's distracting. But yeah, so you'd have strawberry ice cream. I keep wanting to say strawberry chocolate. Don't know what that is. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is the sign for cake. Now, I have seen two different ways it being signed. I will show you guys both, obviously. The first one is what I kind of use more as cake and cupcake, and it's going to be your non-dominant palm up, dominant hand, cake, cake / cupcake. I use both, cake, cupcake. Now, the other one I have seen people use the sign for, like they'll do this for cupcake and then have a separate one for cake. And it's a C and it's cake. Cake. It's like I'm sliding it close to me. Yeah, cake. Cake. I've seen both. I typically just do this one. And then if I really want to emphasize it was a cupcake, then I fingerspell cupcake. But that's just me. Okay. The next one we have is pie. So pie is going to be also palm, non-dominant palm up. And you're going to make that cutting motion like you're cutting out a piece of pie. 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 That is also the sign for like, sorry, I lost the word. It's pie though. It's still pie. It's still related to like breaking it up, cutting a slice. I cannot think of what I was trying to say in English. It's gone. If hopefully it'll come back and I'll mention it again if it comes back. Okay. So I know we've done a lot of words just now. Let's go back again to what we had, the long list. There's a few more left. Well, okay. There's 5 more left. I'm sorry. I'm changing my mind again. Oh my gosh, it's Henry as a shark. Sorry. I love it. I was gonna say, we'll do the 5 drinks and then we'll go back. I know it's a lot. I'm just trying to get as many because the next thing will be animals, okay? Well, yeah, we know this one, sir. Like, I know this one. I'm never gonna forget this one. So, I was gonna say, the first one we're gonna do for the drinks is coffee. And so coffee is gonna be 2 S's. You're gonna have them on top of each other and you're gonna spin the top one. And think about like when you like grind the coffee beans. That's kind of the motion of it. Coffee. Then we have tea. Tea is you're going to have your non-dominant in a C. Your dominant's going to be in the F and you're going to dip it. So think about when you have a tea bag and you dip it in your bag, in your cup. Tea. This we're going to add here because you guys know both signs. If you wanted sweet tea, you would do sweet tea. Sweet tea. We are in the South. That is a very common thing. Sweet tea. Okay. The next one we have is soda. So for soda, you're going to have your non-dominant in a C. Your dominant middle finger is going to make the motion of like pulling the tab. Okay. So soda. So you're going to flip the tab and then slam it down. Soda. 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 Yeah. It's an interesting one. Soda. Soda. Okay. And that's for a whole generalized any type of soda. If you wanted to be specific, like if you were talking about Coke Zero, Sprite, whichever, you would finger spell. Okay. And then the last one I had was water. Okay. Because I don't think we've added water. And I think that is a kind of a big one. And so for water, it's the W and you tap in the corner of your mouth. Water. Water. This also can be used for every type of water. Like, oh, I saw some water, water, like the ocean water. Typically, some people will go water and then ocean, either with O's, ocean or waves, to show they're talking about waves and things like that. But it also be drinking water, like I need some water, that kind of thing. Water. Okay. All right, let's go back to the beginning of our very, very long list because I know we went through a lot. I think we stopped with hot. So we're going to pizza, back for our pizza. Okay. So we had pizza, which was pizza. Pizza, or the Z's, pizza. The X's that are make the Z's, pizza. Then we had salad, salad, salad. Hamburger, hamburger. Remember, make the meat, make the meat patties. Cannot say that apparently. Then we had the cheeseburger, cheeseburger. We had fish, 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 fish. Then we had the pasta or spaghetti. Pasta, spaghetti. Then we had the egg, egg, egg. Bacon. Well, somebody's on top of our list. She's going there before I'm even there. Bacon, bacon, bread, bread, bread. Then we had our dinner, 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 dinner. Then we had lunch, lunch, lunch. Then we had our breakfast, which was morning food, morning food. And then someone's favorite, beer. I'm just gonna have to tease you on that. Beer. And then we had our chocolate, chocolate, vanilla, vanilla, our ice cream, ice cream. Then we had our, oh, I skipped one. Sorry, I just saw it on the list. We had our cake, which was the cake / cupcake or cake, that big C, cake. Pie, pie. And I realized I skipped this one. It's cookie. Cookie is like a small C and you bring it to your mouth. Cookie, cookie, cookie. And then our coffee, coffee. And then tea, tea. And then butter. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Sorry, soda, 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 soda. And then our water, water. I know. I'm kind of like, how did we never ever do butter? So butter is going to be your palm up, and with 2 fingers, you go butter, butter, butter.
It's a whole food group.
I know. I know. I'm like sitting here. Sometimes there are lists that we will have, like words, like people will say that I'm like, how have we gotten through all of these classes and not one of these happen? Like that just kind of throws me, like it kind of throws me off. Okay, my list left me. Hold on. All right. Okay. Are there any other foods you guys can foods? Wow. I signed words, but said the word foods. I don't know what happened there. Foods. I'm being all over the place. Are there any kind of food signs you guys are curious of that we didn't say? I'm gonna leave it open for a minute and see. Any you guys can think of. Okay. I see you're typing. Okay, no. So, well, yes and no. Okay, let me clarify on that one. When I say no, when you were talking about, whoopsies, sorry, Meredith, meat. Well, actually, I don't think we didn't touch meat on this. All right, I didn't even think about that. So let me show you the generalized sign for meat, okay? Sign for meat is you're gonna have your non-dominant sideways like this. Your dominant middle and thumb finger are going to hook on it, meat. It's like, my visual is a butcher shop and having the meats hanging on hooks. So meat, yes. The cool thing with that is that's also the same sign for content. Like if you're talking about the content of the story or the content of the book, or the lesson. And it's because if you think about it, we like to say, well, what's the meat of the story? What's the point of it? What's the goal? And so that's where that like similar content comes from. I just think that's cool. If you were going to talk about you had beef, the way you could do it to clarify specifically that you're talking about beef and like that kind of stuff is you would do cow meat. So you would do the sign for cow, which is it's technically it's two Y's and you bring them up, cow, cow. You can do one hand though, cow. Cow meat. So you would do cow meat for like beef. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was one of the most interesting starting of our classes. I think because Miss Katie was like, excuse me, what? We're talking about the animals while we're talking about eating them. And yeah, unfortunately we do. Because I'm thinking about, well, I'll add these two here. They're also animal signs, so it works. We're applying them to both. The first one's going to be chicken, chicken/bird. It is the same sign when you're talking about eating a chicken and having a pet chicken. And so the sign for chicken is chicken. It's like your pointer finger and your thumb are doing that 20 and it's on your nose. Chicken, chicken, chicken. So if you were talking about, I ate chicken for dinner last night, you would say chicken. If you said you had a pet bird, you would pet and then go bird, pet bird. Yeah. And then the next one I was gonna say is pig for like pork, because you would also do pig meat, that kind of thing. And so for pig, it's pig. The back of your hand is under your chin, and you bring your 4 fingers in. Pig, 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 pig. That also can go for ham. I typically finger spell ham because it's shorter. It's HAM. It goes kind of smooth together. So ham, pig. Trying to think of any other meats we didn't add because we did cow meat, beef, pig, pork. You can always finger spell pork too. If you don't want to be like blunt and do pig meat, you can do pork. That is fine. That is fine. That I totally get it. I'm trying to think if there's any other kinds of meat that's common, not too specific. That's like rare. Not everyone eats that, but I think that's it. Okay. So what we're gonna do, because we have about 14 minutes left, we're gonna start some animal signs and kind of see how far we go, and then we're gonna stop at a certain point, and then we'll save them for I think next week's class. Or yeah, we're gonna do that. Sorry, I was looking at the sentences, the like conversational phrases and stuff, and I was kind of trying to figure out, well, what would you guys prefer? Would you rather do some conversational sentences that you can add with like food signs and then just save animals for like next week? Or would you rather go ahead and start animals and then whatever we don't finish tonight, we save for tomorrow, next week? What would y'all prefer? Conversation. I see one for conversation, sentences and stuff like that. Sound good? Okay. All right. So we'll just focus on that for a bit because I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't want to throw too many animals and then foods, and that's a lot. So, okay. The first one we're going to use the sign for favorite food. Okay. Like how you were going to say what your favorite kind of food is. So you're going to start with the my, obviously. So my favorite is going to be your middle finger and you're going to tap your chin. Favorite. So my favorite food or food. I know I keep doing one hand. I'm sorry. I promise you, I don't sign eat. My favorite eat. I think my hand's just like, we're just getting to that point of the day where it's like, no, we're not going to sign right apparently. So my favorite food is chips. That. Some people, when they are signing their sentences, what they'll do is they'll go, my favorite food, what? Chips. It's kind of an interesting, I've seen it, and it is ASL. That is fully ASL too. Is like adding that question word is like almost saying like I'm answering this question is what is my favorite food? It's this. Because you typically don't, like, for example, if someone says, well, what's your favorite color? You wouldn't always just immediately go red. Like you would say, my favorite color is red. Like you would have that sentence. It's not just one word typically. You would kind of repeat it back to show that's what you are discussing about. It helps to clarify what you guys are talking about. That kind of thing. So my favorite food. Okay. If you were going to ask them what their favorite food is, you would go, your favorite food, what? What? Okay. Allergic. Oh, that is a good one. Okay. For I am allergic. Allergic is going to be, you're going to start kind of around your nose with two pointer fingers, and you're going to go allergic, 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 allergic. That's also similar to the sign for opposite. This is sign for opposite. I bring it up here for your nose because that's also where you can do like allergies. I have allergies. It kind of just goes with like any type of like reaction like that, kind of allergic reaction, allergies, that sort of thing. So I'm allergic to pickles. I don't know. I'm making it up. I'm not actually allergic to pickles. I was just trying to think of something, and that's all that came to mind. So me allergic pickles or pickles. Okay. Sorry. I'm doing so much English sentencing and I'm trying to transfer fully into the ASL. The way you would technically say that is you would say pickles me allergic. You would start with the like subject, which is that it's pickles, and that I'm saying I'm allergic to them. So pickles me allergic. Okay. I knew it. I was like, I worded that weird. Or didn't word it weird. I changed up a lot. So good question. Okay. So what you would do is say you had to think. Sorry, I have to fully shut off like English voicing and everything. Because if I don't, I then just sign it all fully in English, and that's not ASL. So the way you would have it is you would go, allergies you have. You would do have here. Have. Because the what is more like assuming that they do have an allergic reaction already. Okay, so you would do allergies you have and okay. I'm just throwing so many signs and I'm trying to stop, but it's just me translating too much in my head. And so this is my little question mark, okay? That's what that is. I have a tendency to put that in a lot of into my sentences. You don't always have to, because the sign for question is like question mark is like you make like the question mark squiggle and dot. But when you're asking, you can do like just a little bouncy asking. Yeah. So that was me going, allergies you have, like me asking. And I caught myself and I went, man, I have not shown them that. And I'm sure they're going, this woman is throwing 20 different signs. She says this and then she signs it differently. Because even Miss Katie's caught me on that. She's like, you sign this, but it's really like you say it's this, but then you'll sign the like more like the good morning, that one, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm trying to catch myself better on that. But yeah, question mark. Looks like our little question, like asking. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So you could, like I said, so allergies you have question mark with the little eyebrows down, being like you're snooping kind of deal. Okay. The next one we're gonna do is the sign for I like / I don't like. Okay. So the sign for like is you're gonna start with your middle finger and your thumb. You're gonna start at the center of your chest and you're gonna pull it together. Like. 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 Now, if you were going to say you don't like something, there are two ways you can do it. The first one is you're going to do the same as like, and then throw it away. Don't like. I don't like. Don't like. It's like, that's trash. I do not want that. Don't like. The other one is you can do is not like. Okay. So not is going to be a thumbs up. You're going to put the thumb under your chin and fling it forward. Not, not, not. So not like, not like. Okay. So then we have want. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. Want. Okay, so I want. Want is going to be two open hands up. Kind of think about like our frozen. It's the same sort of thing, but hands up. Want. 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 And so this is again like our like and don't like is you can do don't want. So want, throw it away. Want, throw it away. Okay. Want, throw it away. Or you could do not want. Okay. Not want. I've seen either way go kind of back and forth. I have not seen like one used more often than the other. I've seen them kind of both be used. So we have I like, don't like, want, don't want. Our last one is need. I need, I don't need. Okay. So for need is you're going to have an X and you're going to tap it need. 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 Yeah. Especially if you're being really like obnoxious, like I need it now. It's like need, just over and over and over again. It drives people insane. My students like to do that. That's why I know it drives people insane because they do it to me. I need a pencil, need. I'm like, okay, they're right there. So, for don't need, this one you would add the not need, not need, not need. You can do multiple times tapping for need, but if you're talking about not need, I do typically not need, like one tap. Don't need, not need. Okay. The last two I have right here is more and less. Okay. So the sign for more is you're going to have kind of like these 5 O's and you're going to go more, 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 more. The sign for less is going to be, you're going to start kind of your hands wider like this and go less, 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 less. So more, less. Okay. Any questions or anything like that? We can review those sentences real quick, but I was going to see if there's any other sentences you guys can think of or words that could be related with food that we haven't done. Any questions like that? Trying to think. So, okay, good. All right, awesome. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are finger spelled. I have not seen a sign for mushroom, unfortunately. I have seen some people finger spell mushroom and then they'll do like a cap, but that's also like champion. And so it can get a little dicey. Yeah, it gets interesting. Okay. That's more like describing it kind of deal. Dessert. That I can give. Dessert is going to be 2 D's. You're going to turn them sideways and then tap dessert. It is very important you do not do up this. This is date, dating, date. So you don't want to be saying I want dessert and then say I want date. That could get confusing. So you would say want dessert. You want to make sure it's sideways. Dessert. Dessert. Yes. And then you can get specific on the chocolate, vanilla, ice cream, blah, 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 whatever. That kind of thing. Or strawberry. See, I'm not a strawberry person. So I always don't think about it until third. Really? See, I won't lie. I am a little bit of the weird one. I'm like, I wouldn't technically do just chocolate or vanilla. I'd have to be all specific about it being pistachio or banana, cream pie. I mean, it's all complicated. I'm not a simple girl on my ice cream, unfortunately. I can admit that. So, rubber, I can never say this word. Rhubarb. Oh my gosh, why can I not pronounce this word right now?
I think it's because it's just not a southern fruit,
Thank you.
vine, root.
Rhubarb.
What-
Rhubarb.
There we go.
I love the English like phonics coming in because I cannot say it. I'm like my brain because I don't ever say that word anyways often because like I don't eat that and stuff. So my brain's like, how does that happen? Also, ASL really does impact your English. Okay, guys, I know I've said it before, but it really does. There are words I have said wrong. We're hold on. We're gonna have to come here. There's not a sign for rhubarb. That's why I was trying to start off, but then yesterday at work, I was talking to a coworker and we were talking about themes of books and things like that. And I was telling her how I don't like tragedies. Okay. I don't really like sad books like that. I did not say tragedy. I said strategy. I flipped my D and my G. I said it 3 times, guys. 3 times I said strategy. And I kept going, why does that feel wrong? But all 3 times. And the person I was talking to is the speech language pathologist at my school. And I just sat there, yeah, the one person who is all about speech and phonics, and I'm over here saying this word wrong. And I was like, and I just kept saying it. And I finally went, hold on. And I literally stopped mid-sentence and I was like, and she goes, tragedy. And I went, okay, so I was saying it wrong. It didn't feel right anyways. So I always teasingly joke and say,
Honestly, why would you pronounce it correctly? You don't even like it.
yeah,
So
exactly. I was like, see, that just shows how rare I read any of those type of books or I'd say that word because I don't like them. Again, the rhubarb, same concept. Yeah, your English kind of sometimes will go down with your ASL, especially if you use it every day like I do. So there's a little fun story. Yeah, I fully accept that I did that because it was not like I can't just excuse and say, oh, I did it like once. No, I did it 3 times, guys. I said it 3 times. It was really painful. So yeah. Okay. But like I was saying, so rhubarb, there is no sign. I've not seen you have to finger spell. I did a D instead of a B. Wow. I was gonna say more specific you get with types of foods and things like that. They do typically you would finger spell. Like if you're talking about a specific type of mushroom or a specific type of any kind of food wise, wow. You really would have to finger spell them. Like chicken parmesan, you can do chicken, but parmesan, you would have to like finger spell the whole thing. So, okay. And since it's now 6:31, I'm gonna let you guys go. Next week we'll do animals, okay? And that way that'll be a nice one. So, all right. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all's week, and I will see you guys all next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
bye, everybody.